Okay, welcome back. This is a sketchbook tour for this sketchbook. This is a first video on this channel that is long form-ish, and I think almost 2 years. So welcome back if you've been here before. This is a sketchbook that I started in January and finished at the beginning of May, and it's taken me a while to get in here and film a little tour. This is a little library pocket checkout book pocket thing that I kept little cutouts in and stuff. We'll get right into it here. This is a little collage that I did of some with some scraps. This is a little junk journal page, some drawings by some kiddos I know. This is I think my 13-year-old drew this and left it laying around, so I taped it in. And then we get started with some ballpoint pen, multicolored ballpoint pen drawings. And these are Posca pens, silly little goofy drawings. I was drawing in other sketchbooks before this and transferred them over. Another ballpoint pen. I thought I would do a lot of these sort of quilt backgrounds with portraits, and it lasted about 2 spreads, and then I moved on. So this spread and this spread, and then I was over it. This was make a blotch of Posca paint and then make silly drawings on top. This is another sort of junk journaly combo with some drawings. This was just a little attempt I drew her on one side and then transferred her over here and drew her again, and trying to get everything as close to the same as possible, but I'm not sure that I achieved that or not. Oh, before I go further, this is a Fabriano sketchbook. The specific type, it starts with a V. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I don't know. I saw it online, and I loved the hardbound and binding, even though it didn't really stay together very well and the paper wasn't the best, but I loved the cover. It was just so cool looking, and so I had to try one out. This page is sort of random stuff like this back here, but I'm done with the multicolored ballpoint pens. This is just kind of more random. This is I think a jelly plate print, and then some Poscas. This is, I believe, some gouache smeared down with like a note card or something like that, and then drawn over with Micron pen and Posca pen. These are definitely Micron, all of that. And these little kind of cellophane things that didn't really stick down, but they're in there for now. These are glued in. These are printed from the drawings earlier and then tinted in like Procreate and then printed off, and just messing around with paints and Posca pens. And I believe these are acrylic paint backgrounds and then Posca pens on top. This is another printout and collage in jelly plate. These are acrylic paint backgrounds and then Micron on top. Really hate that I colored in her face white. Did not like it once I did it. I thought it would work. Did not love the results. This is Posca pens. This stayed like just squares for a long time, and then I came back in and added her with the dots. These are just obviously Micron line drawings. And here she is again in pencil. I think that these were like these Faber-Castell pencils that were not supposed to have glare. They were like really like 12B or something pencils. It's supposed to be really dark. It's kind of a hodgepodge, junky, journaly type of spread here. This is more collagey junk journal, testing out pens and moving forward. This is kind of where it takes a little bit of a left turn and we get some sort of psychedelic scenes going on. Not so much here, although the pink noses are quite strange, I guess. So yeah, here's a big colored pencil spread. So these sorts of spreads kind of began in this little morning sketchbook. It would just be stuff that I would come up with as I was drinking the morning coffee, and then I'd end up translating them to something like this or this. These are both colored pencil, and then I started to incorporate some gouache in the background. This woman in the panda mask is actually her from before. This was a little bit of a hot topic in my household as the panda mask scared everyone. This one was not so successful, so I think I drew her. Yeah, she was right here on the next page. Stack of people. It's a house that I drive by all the time that I love, so I snapped a photo of it and drew it in the sketchbook. This one was not so successful, but I did manage to work in the panda back here. But I just didn't like the paint in the background or the Poscas. Again, there's a few spreads in here that I'm not super thrilled with. Didn't love the painted background. Went too fast on the pen. This one I tried to push the colored ballpoint pen, and it's not too bad, I guess. This we get a little bit more back into the psychedelic, silly drawings. Again, these things, they actually stuck in this time. I don't know what I used that time, but they worked. And we keep going down we got the volcano in the background. Okay, I quite like this side. I don't know if this was as successful as this side, but may have gone overboard in her face. Who knows? This is a guy called Sad Dad. I tried to incorporate a bunch of the drawings or the people and stuff from the earlier drawings. And then she's upside down, so I made the clock upside down. And then the rabbit comes from over here, gets turned around a little bit. This was just like a hodgepodge page. And I ended up, I think this was like several layers of jelly plate, and then I ended up doing the skull over top. This is probably one of my favorite spreads in the book. This is another house that I saw that I snapped a photo of. This is from a photo from years and years ago of our cats. He's not around anymore, but she's still around. She's about turned 17 years old, but I think she was 3 years old in this photo. Okay, this was a big spread. I did this one and enjoyed that so much that I wanted to try lines, so I just used a ruler going across, and I do that a lot in the next several spreads. So actually we can flip around a little bit. Like these two came first, and then I went back and did her there, and then I transferred her there. This I kind of never really did anything with. I'd like to do a block print of this. I think it'd look really cool at some point, so I'll get back on that. So the sketches for those drawings. These were I had it in my head that I wanted to do some portraits in gouache painting. I felt like this one was pretty successful, and then I sort of forgot everything that I had done on this one, and this one wasn't quite as successful. There's another one coming up that's really bad, but before that we had these. This kind of glare. This is definitely a favorite spread of mine. I think this was really fun to figure this out, and I like the background here. And this was another kind of fun, I don't know, like houses on fire. That's always fun to draw, but I tried to make it a cardboard house. My skills with the color pencil are not to the level to show that that's cardboard per se. So this guy is this guy back here. only my family and I were out driving, and on the highway we saw a guy that was walking. He had a backpack, and then he was carrying a gigantic jug of cheese balls. So that, I kept that in my head, and here he is. Not him specifically, but, inspired by, maybe a tribute to. This one, I messed that up completely, and these are okay, though. They're okay. So I was transferring this over to here, or maybe I was transferring it onto there. Anyway, I got the outline of this gal here, and these are some like Neocolor 2s that I need to experiment with more. I just have like the primary colors, but they seem really fun. And then this is another just sort of silly drawing in colored pencil. I don't think I even finished it. It's getting towards the end of the sketchbook. I was kind of done. I felt over the sketchbook. The Rainbow Gal. Just a few more spreads. This was pretty good, pretty successful. I think this was painted. The background was painted with the cards again going down. So yeah, the more successful was using a jelly plate for the background. So that's kind of what I learned in the sketchbook for those. This was my terrible painting where I thought I was going to do a decent portrait, and I just sort of gave up and moved on. And to finish it up, I did a couple of sketches. I was trying to do lines, but with the ballpoint pen, just an experiment. So as I printed this out and then tore it up and pieced it back together and drew her. And I think that's it. I made some stickers. And yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. First video in 2 years. Maybe I'll see you again in 2 years. Thank you for watching this. I don't know. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. All right. Have a great day. Goodbye.